There has been a ton of drama surrounding the Fortnite UEFN creative community right now because a ton of devs are quitting, a ton of people don't want to work on Fortnite anymore, a ton of people think that the way that things are run right now are unfair, a lot of people don't like that people are using IP infringement and cheating the system, things like that. Today, that's what we're going to be diving into. I wish that I could have touched on this a little while ago, but I've had a few days off from the channel because I've been under the weather. So today, we're going to be talking about it. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channel. Sorry, you might be able to still hear it, guys, because I'm deep breathing over here. I'm still a little bit congested. So this is going to be different from the typical way that we have this with Fortnite gameplay in the background because there are quite a few long threads that I want to read through, and I think it would look nicer just to scroll through it instead of just continuing and plastering things on. So this is the way that we're going to do things today. And as always, if you don't like it this way, I'm open for feedback on the channel. I'm always trying to make these videos the best experience for you. So it all started off, I believe, with this post from the Bonnie Kiwi. I'll no longer be creating creative experiences in Fortnite going forward. Got a green email for this over a month ago. Now it's not good enough. Nothing I make anymore is good enough. I can't succeed naturally in Discover and not good enough for picks. Haven't been for a while. It was a fun ride, but now I'll be looking for something new, a different career. A UGC developer in Fortnite is no longer for me. And of course, this is one of the emails that you get for Fortnite about your submissions. Dear Bonnie Kiwi, thanks for your recent submission, Fortnite Escape Room to Epic's Picks. After carefully reviewing your application, we decided that it isn't quite suitable for featuring at this time. In this case, the main reason for not moving forward with your submission was suggest creating a more polished and detailed map to stand out. Now, a lot of people have been struggling with things like this in the UEFN creative community. And if you've been following the channel, you might know that I've been talking about this for a little while and something that I still will stand on, but don't get me wrong, there are problems with creative, okay? I still do believe that you need to make the best experience possible. You need to adapt. You need to overcome. You need to make a better experience, a more addictive experience than what a lot of these people are playing. It is, you are capable of getting and making one of the best maps of all time. It's just very difficult. I do agree that Discovery is a mess. Discovery is not nearly where I would like to see it be. And I know that there's people using IP infringement. I know there's people that are using, I think it's just, I don't know if there's anything else but the Accolade device. I know that there's people taking advantage of that system and just having people join their map, AFK, getting XP, things like that. I think that Epic Games needs to do a better job fixing those things. But there's also, my other take on it is, this is still in its infancy UEFN. I don't believe that, I mean, everybody can do what they want, okay? I just don't believe the right move is to just give up and quit, because while it is very difficult to make an amazing map, and there are definitely roadblocks right now, you are certainly capable of doing so. Should it be easier? Should it be more clear in Epic Games' side? Yes, I'm just hoping that that comes in with time. So a lot of people had a lot to say about this. We're going to take a look at a bunch of creators and what they had to say, a bunch of replies, and also I said this over on X. Seems like this entire UEFN situation has been picking up traction. I will make a video. If you have any thoughts, drop them below and I will include some. Thank you for your time, and for everybody who replied, thank you very, very much. If you'd like to join the conversation, you can follow me at Clen YouTube, or you can find the link tree or the actual link to X over in the description down below. Like and subscribe if you have not already, guys. Let's talk about this because there's a lot that we want to go through. And again, I'm sorry, man. I can hear myself deep breathing a little bit. I'm still very congested over here, guys. Sorry about that. So this was another post that really made the rounds within the Fortnite community over here. Kiwi was featured when UEFN came out with a pretty fun map and was promoted by Fortnite on so many channels. So has the quality bar increased and he can't compete now? Has the market become more saturated? This is a great ecosystem, but there is zero creator representation anymore, and only a few services drag it down from an otherwise incredible UGC space. Epic is smart, and they will eventually figure it out and or listen. This is something that I don't think that people notice enough, to be honest with you, or talk about enough, because these things take time. Should Epic Games be more on the ball with it? Yes, absolutely, but I also don't think this is like a completely alarming situation, okay? But for now, this is directly affecting people who supported the tools from day one, people who helped it grow with patience and endurance. And these people, okay, these people I have all the respect in the world for. These people are amazing, and I know how much, I can't imagine how much passion and hard work has went into their maps over the years. Just because they helped from day one, I understand it's a harsh reality, but just because they have been supporting the game since day one, it goes back to the OG talk, you know, with Fortnite OG, there's nothing special about it. If you're not making the maps that are able to, you know, get to the top of what Fortnite's looking for right now, you don't deserve any special treatment, in my opinion. I'm not saying that this initial post was saying that. It's just, You hear that quite a bit, okay? Those people not only do not get a thank you anymore, as seen with all the recent UE Fest rejections, I guess will only matter for 1 year for marketing purposes, but they are treated to impossible scenarios where they have to detach their artistic values that previously worked to adapt to a shallow creator meta developed by the community that was affected by the make money ads, an unknown algorithm that constantly shifts and is potentially bugged but cannot be reported, and is faceless to the value that games represent. This is actually something that I know that there's a problem with. Epic Games needs to be a little bit open on exactly what the algorithm pushes, what kind of maps they're looking for, because I'm on Epic's side. If Epic Games wants to promote things where it's like, hey, people like to play red versus blue and we're going to prioritize those types of maps. While I still am somebody who appreciates the artistic maps and the creators behind it, I love looking at those types of experiences. I don't blame Epic Games if that's not what they're looking for. It's just, they want to make money, that's fine, they can make their money. As much as I personally wouldn't like it, that's fine, but it's not, I don't believe it's fair to these creators to keep them into the dark of how this algorithm is working. Like I said, guys, I believe that people should just suck it up, and I think that people should just make the best maps that they can possibly make, and if they have to adapt to some sort of meta, then so be it. If you want to be a successful creator, maybe you have to grow a YouTube channel, maybe you have to grow a community to kind of get your map having more plays, that people like some sort of experience tied in with your YouTube channel, things like that. I think that people just need to work hard, but it is also on to Epic Games to fix some type of things, you know what I mean? Anyways, it's not too late to fix this, Epic, but more work is needed than before, strangely, which means the ecosystem health has taken 2 steps back the past 2 years. Decline started when Discovery launched, in my opinion. The more you delay this, the more work you'll need to bring it back. Epic is afraid of scammers, so they don't share what makes Discovery work in fear of exploitation. That makes sense, but at the end of the day, I think it's more fair for creators to know what's fair. This creates too many unknowns when publishing, making it feel like you need luck to succeed. Fix. Epic shows fully how Discovery works, add a community advisory and moderation program which are also moderated, and adds and enforces strict rules on people who exploit the system. I completely agree with that. 1000% I completely agree with that. But Epic Games needs to absolutely be on the ball when it comes to moderating. We know that they exactly haven't done the best job in the past, but they need to do a better job for that, okay? A major incentive of being a noble creator was that Epic may contact you and offer collaborations for projects or involve you in events. This alone gave a major reason not to exploit the system for money grabs and instead focus on quality and education as a creator. But since UEFN came out and little after that, they stopped collabs with creators and stopped events too, mainly because they stumbled on a few bad apples. So now that the incentive is no more, making everyone rely on, I'll do one project and fund the project I really want to make mentality, then the second part then is drained by the first due to the live service element required. Fix. Bring back collabs with creators, host more game jam events where the creators that contributed to the most of the past 3 months, and don't pick new ones every time for the sake of diversity. Pick ones that have actually earned it, new and old, are invited to an event to build a map for XYZ, maybe esports events to also involve the competitive community. Just look at 2019 creative under Zach Phelps' leadership. It was perfect, and literally all content creators were going crazy for creative back then. It was the content farm and part of Fortnite's explosive growth. At the moment, no content creator actively plays UEFN maps that I know of, and that's a huge red flag. Maybe I am not well researched in the space, but I wasn't back then either. That's an interesting one. I don't think that's as important as the first point that this original poster ended up talking about, but I still do think that this would be very nice. This would be really cool if Epic Games were to actually bring this type of thing back. For the content creators playing UEFN maps, I can only speak for myself. I play lots of UEFN maps. I love UEFN experiences. I play Fortnite Reload more than anything, but I absolutely mix in a ton of UEFN maps that I love to play. But in saying that, it's a lot of player versus player modes. The only ones that I am really sitting down here excited for, and depending on when this video launches, is the Skyfire Aftermath. But even then, in sitting down and thinking about that, I'm sure as UEFN continues to develop, more experiences like that will come out, and it won't be necessarily me just sitting down and playing some shooter type thing in UEFN. Monetization is strongly tied to fear of missing out practices, with CCU numbers and promotion playing the biggest part to earn more as a map maker. This pushes creators into marketing and addictive mechanics rather than the fun or the game itself, which in turn makes Epic not want to promote creators altogether due to the low quality standards they have and the overall ecosystem content down spirals. Sure, more short-term players could be good, but focusing on quality will bring truly loyal players to the ecosystem. Now that the audience thinks Fortnite is for kids, and nobody can convince them otherwise at this stage, fix, diversify content, add more age groups to the rating system, add filters for art styles and moods, add servers that players can join and be treated with constant content they can play, provide more ways to play like a map shuffle mode that only focuses on new content, make access easier and faster for them. That's a toughie. I've never actually hated fear of missing out as much as the regular player does. I get the arguments behind it. I really don't think it's the end of the world. But if we want to talk about fixing the state of discovery, like, my problem is, if somebody wants to include that, I really don't see the big deal. I don't. If you have a problem with it, don't play the map. If enough people like the map, if enough people really don't want to miss out on something, I really don't care. So this one, I don't know if I necessarily agree with, to be honest with you, but I'm open for feedback in the comment section down below. Anyways, market saturation. Market maturity and discoverability algorithm all have contributed in creators making the same few types of maps that allow them to hit the BR audience. Then Fortnite never diversifies that way. The cycle repeats. It's so bad now that not even Epic themselves can do it. This also causes creators who do want to innovate and put lots of effort into a project and not get something in return. Fix. Epic hosts competitions with monetary rewards and judges, no player voting, rate entries based on the essence of great and fun game design instead of how popular and addicting the game is, which is the current metrics for success, then adds curated lists in Discovery that are in prime position and are event related, think Lundrum there, and post the winning entries there. This will incentivize new developers and old to compete and try new things, as the hooks of the algorithm do not apply on these games. Then the games themselves in time will attract different audiences through word of mouth and content creation. I believe that's going to happen regardless, to be honest with you. I'm not talking about any event that Epic Games can put on. I would imagine as UEFN develops, more players who like different types of game modes will come to UEFN. These experiences will only get better and better with time. People are going to have even like their own seasons of their own games. I believe that's the future of UEFN. The problem is when it comes to like, I know we're talking about like the algorithm rewarding like things that the BR audience would want to play. I don't necessarily like, I don't necessarily disagree with that, because how many Fortnite players do you know that are willing to play some random UEFN map? Honestly, when you're talking about the majority of the player base, they want to play some sort of BR type mode, some zero build zone wars type thing, some tilted towers gun games type of thing. Those are typically the types of players that are on Fortnite right now, but Epic Games is changing that. You're getting the Lego audience, you're getting the Rock Band audience, things like that. You're getting the Minecraft audience, and I believe it will grow with time. Epic Games could create events to help speed up the process, but I believe that's just going to come with time. To finish this off and go back to the original topic, Epic for now needs to respect those who were here during the dark times of creative and went through the storm. Respect, absolutely, but give them any special privileges? I disagree. Helped build this ecosystem brick by brick and allowed UEFN to be considered as an option. And truth be told, those creators are still here and still watching. Some may even still want to help bring back another golden age of creativity for Fortnite. I don't believe the golden age has even come yet. I think that we're in its infancy right now. But you can't have a relationship without both parties caring for each other. Favoritism goes both ways. We choose Fortnite over anything else every day. We are loyal and we love what we do to the point of addiction. Personally, I made it here through hard work and enjoying the games I make, and so did Kiwi. But the only difference is that we don't get an award, a reward, heck, and even thank you for this ecosystem, at least lately, just a slap in the face and the occasional ask for another bug report. I am disappointed. That's a toughie, because, again, maybe I'm taking this the wrong way, but it seems like they're asking for a little bit of special privileges. I don't believe that should be the case for any creator. I believe everybody should have an equal opportunity. I don't believe anybody should be favored, I think. And I'm not talking about people like using their influence and things like that. I'm talking about having a shot in discovery. But for the most part, I thought this was very, very well said. This ended up getting a ton of views. Where's the views? Yeah, 80.3K views within the Fortnite community at UEFN. That's pretty big, but there were still a lot of replies over this. Kiwi ended up responding to that and had this to say. Someone who sees it for what it is. A few people saying that I got one rejection and decided to quit. Can't see me taking accountability, that I'm just not what the ecosystem wants right now. I refuse to become a scammer, so I can't succeed. It's that simple. I used to be able to rely on picks being a way to fund my passion, but now I can't as my experiences aren't polished enough, which I'm sorry, it's just frankly insulting, and I refuse to waste any more time and money investing into this until they make it better and fairer. Now, what's important to note, guys, is I'm not talking about Kiwi, I'm not talking about Wirt and Drew, anything like that. I'm talking about UEFN in general, of course. I don't know exactly what experiences they have pushed out. We're only talking, like, we know that we've mentioned, like, the OG creative builders. The problem is, I know that there are a lot of problems with Discovery right now, and I know there are a lot of fantastic creators who just want to succeed, and I know there's a ton of fantastic creators who just want Discovery to be as perfect as it could possibly be, and the state of UEFN, everything like that. But I also, I can't help but think about, too, like, how many people are just crying and whining because nobody wants to play their map, where it's like, I put my heart and soul to this. I put my heart and soul to this, and I made the best game mode ever. And then, like, realistically, nobody would want to play it. So the reason I bring that up is because I know I've said that in the past, and I still hold that to be true, okay? I know there's a ton of people online, a ton of UEFN devs crying and whining and wanting Epic Games to give them a handout. I'm not saying that's what Kiwi and Wirt and Drew are saying. I don't know anything about their maps in particular. It's just you hear this same argument over and over again. But again, I completely agree that there are things in Discovery that need to be fixed. Like the initial post, there was a ton of very, very well said things. The reply to this had this to say: pretty much so much disrespect. In other industries, they hand out awards for half of the things some creators have accomplished, and we still have the imposter syndrome. Well, if it matters from someone who understands your contribution, you've done great and you're an incredible creator. Hope this is but a phase, and you could have that link with the players reformed so they can enjoy your content again and you can enjoy building. I hope the best for Kiwi as well, man. There's a lot of UEFN and devs quitting right now, and I really hope that they change their mind and they come back, because there is such potential in this field. Now, if we're talking about doing this full time, that is a little bit of a difficult situation. You need to make sure that UEFN is incredibly flushed out, right? You need to make sure that you're sitting pretty, okay? Immature Gamer X had this to say, and I'm almost sure that this was the developer that had the call with a team from Fortnite UEFN or something like that. The reason that I had every intention of watching it. The reason that I didn't is because I heard that it apparently wasn't very productive. There was a lot of dodging questions. There was still a lot that was unanswered. Perhaps we can make a reaction video sometime actually listening to that, but as of right now, I have not listened to that, okay? Lately, my DMs and mentions are full of creators stepping away from Fortnite Creative. It hurts seeing talented veterans who help build this community feeling undervalued and deciding to leave. These growing pains are tough, especially when compared to more mature UGC platforms. Fortnite Creative is still relatively new and evolving, and I genuinely believe we'll see positive changes as the tools, algorithms, and player experiences improve. I'm optimistic quality maps and talented creators will eventually receive the recognition they truly deserve. To every creator who's feeling discouraged right now, your impact hasn't gone unnoticed. Let's stay hopeful, keep the conversation going, and keep creating amazing experiences together. I absolutely love this, especially this piece over here. Fortnite Creative is still relatively new and evolving. I genuinely believe we'll see positive changes to the tools, algorithms, and player experiences improve. You guys need to remember, these types of things take years and years. And I know a lot of people are, I don't think jealous is the right word, okay? A lot of people are perhaps envious of the people at the top right now. There is going to be improvements, and Epic Games wants this to succeed. Epic Games wants their metaverse to be the brand new big thing. I trust Epic Games to do the right thing. I think it'll just take time. And I do believe that there's things that they should just jump on the ball about, like, quicker than other things, but unfortunately, that's not what we're going to get right now. I love what Immature Gamer had to say. Mustard Place had this to say about the situation. There are lots of feelings about the state of creative and UEFN being posted right now. Lots of frustration. Word explains a lot of it in his tweet. I'm not sure what to add to his assessment yet. If I can add something of true value that's constructive, I'll make a comprehensive video. So if you have good ideas on how to improve the ecosystem, I'd love to hear them. Not looking for rants, but looking for potential solutions that align with Epic's goals. Things they would actually listen to. So true. But yeah, this is also a problem if you're perhaps somebody in the UEFN community talking Epic Games right now. This is a big problem, just a bunch of rants. And I'm not talking about what Wirt and Drew had to say over here, because this was pretty helpful, to be honest with you, but you have a lot of people who are basically saying, my map's not getting played and it's not fair, but that with an entire essay, like basically saying that when it could have been one sentence and it's just a little bit entitled. There are more people that need to be more constructive, and that's what we've been seeing recently, which is very nice, to be honest with you. But look out for Mustard Play's channel, because I would be very, very interested to see a video from him to see what he thinks about this entire situation, okay? Giova had this to say: here's some solutions I'd like to see applied. Make it harder to spam maps, remove the $80 rule to get a new creator account, add 2 maps per week, publish cap. Actually apply penalties to bad actors. We need to clean the system from many spam creators who've been flooding it with content against the TOS. A moderation system where a banned map can just push a new version to go back live will never work. Engage more with the community. Epic has been very far from the community lately. They only speak if big creators bring the problem to surface. They make some posts about moderating maps, and the day after the same maps are live again. Add a better feedback system. Like and recommended are nice, but the player shouldn't recommend with a button. The system should do it automatically if they enjoy and play a map a lot, so we don't have to see like these like and recommend pop-ups everywhere. Also, adding a public like percentage, 70% like for example, would be nice. Even reviews would be nice in my opinion, but I'm not sure about those. Be more clear about Discover. Seeing a map you spent one month on getting 0 exposure is incredibly demoralizing and is one of the main reasons people are quitting. We need more transparency on how the discovery system works and why maps do not get there. I have some other ideas, but I think these are fine. Would love to see this in a video of yours. I absolutely love these two things over here, okay? The others that he mentioned are pretty nice, to be honest with you, but I like the idea of a better feedback system. And how many people have been kind of, I don't want to say scamming, but you have a lot of things where it's like, okay, like for this to happen, and the pop-ups everywhere are actually annoying me, to be honest with you, when I'm playing UEFN experiences. That I would like to see. I don't know what the proper way to go about it is. I don't mind the idea over here, but there needs to be a better way for feedback. And if Epic Games could automatically apply that somehow, I don't know if it's based on map playtime. I'm not saying that's the solution. I'm just like, I don't know what would be better, to be honest with you. But I do believe that Epic Games needs to be more clear about discovery. Either that, or we'll end up figuring it out with time, because I always relate this to YouTube, because you want your videos to perform, and if your videos are getting 0 views, that's your problem, you know, because there has been so much knowledge about the algorithm that is completely out there. The way to succeed is available for you. We don't really have that for Epic Games. I don't know if that's naturally going to come out as UEFN continues to develop, or Epic Games needs to be clear about how that works in general. I would like to see that over from Epic Games, okay? Let's continue on to what Sloth had to say. Enforce rules. There's not much of a punishment for using IP infringing thumbnails. A creator will get their map taken down, but by that time they just re-upload with a non-rule breaking thumbnail. At that point, the damage is done and they have their CCU. Creators that have maps continually taken down should have less of a chance of any discovery time. If they successfully appeal, then that shouldn't affect. I also think locking down new accounts for a bit would be good. It's too easy for bad actors just to create a new account and spam in the shadows. I completely agree with this. When we talk about bad actors, the punishment needs to be very, very severe. Epic Games needs to make an example out of quite a few people in order to decentivize people from actually, you know, exploiting the system and taking a spot away from somebody. Any bad actor cheating the system should be dealt with, but Epic Games needs to be on the ball with that. DWDFN Dustin had this to say: we should remove the Accolade device from Fortnite create and transition all XP rewards to a playtime-based system, similar to how LEGO Fortnite grants XP. When UEFN launched without Accolades, the ecosystem thrived and players engaged with maps for their gameplay, not just for XP. Shifting to a playtime system would create a balanced experience, ensuring that XP rewards align with the actual player engagement rather than artificial triggers. This would eliminate exploits, encourage better game design, and improve discovery. I know that this is a touchy one. I know there's a lot of people like the Accolade device, but I agree with this one. But I am also willing to be proven wrong about this, because I'm not a Fortnite creator. I'm just somebody who's very involved with the space, and from a gameplay perspective, from everything that I have seen within this Fortnite community, this makes the most sense to me. And I know you can come back with a couple arguments behind that, but I do think that overall, it would be a good thing to get rid of that. It would help a lot. Why not just have it a playtime-based system like Dustin wants? I agree with this. If you disagree, please comment down below. I'll be taking a look at the comments. I can't promise that it'll be fast, but I'm always open for feedback on this, guys. I'm trying to learn about this situation myself, okay? Elliot had this to say: everything takes time. Epic will eventually figure it out, but I honestly don't know if it'll be soon enough to get people to trust the new system or like UEFN anymore. Personally, I think Epic should do the Roblox route when promoting this stuff, but I can see the issues with it. I completely agree with the first part of that. Everything takes time. Epic will eventually figure it out. But I do disagree that I'm talking about down the road, like a couple years or something like that, okay? People will trust the system. They might not trust it right now, but people will trust it. I have faith that Epic Games will create the best system in the entire world. I'm always optimistic about this game, and I've been optimistic since I started playing this game, to be honest with you, and it hasn't failed me so far, okay? Richie Toons had this to say: UEFN drama take. Is Discovery a crap show? Yes. Could Epic do more to make it a better place? Yes. Is that a reason to quit UEFN? Absolutely not. There are many ways to make money with UEFN. You don't always have to have brute force to solo the solo indie way, excuse me. This does not mean you have to do stuff you are uncomfortable doing. Learning new programs, working for other people, and working 16-hour shifts while working on 3 projects simultaneously. Waking up at uncomfortable times to be the first to update the guns on your maps, remaking models, thumbnails, designs, and videos because they are not on the level they should be. You don't get judged on your highs, but on your lows. So, don't let scammers, shady creators, and Discovery discourage you, and remember why you started making maps in the first place. This is the best post that we have taken a look at so far. This is the one that every UEFN dev needs to hear. This is what people are doing. This is what a lot of successful creators are doing. Have you, think about the maps of the top guys. Do you think they're just sitting down and just, you know what? No, I just made the map, I lucked out, and it's going to be in Discovery. No, they are grinding, and with any successful business ever, this is what people are doing. Working 16-hour shifts on 3 projects simultaneously, perhaps even more. Remaking things, updating them to be the best that they can be. This is my true feelings on the situation. While the complaints are absolutely valid and Richie Toons does acknowledge that. I am so on point with him about this, and I completely agree with what he had to say about it. Let's continue on over to the next post, okay? Postbox Pat responded to that and said this: just make maps and do whatever else you want in your free time. You can make maps and do another job part-time or full-time if you're good with time management. I do YouTube, house development, and maps all in the same day, and swap one of those three often for family and friends. Be free, have no fears, ignore the haters and competition, and enjoy life. Every day could be a Sunday. Holy, based by Postbox Pat too. We love to see that. Guys, if you... I want YouTube is something that I want to do full time. Okay, I kind of have this approach that Richie Tunes and Postbox Pat is taking to this. I have a goal in mind to do YouTube full time. I juggle a family, working and working with a combination along with YouTube. I work 3 jobs, and I have not a ton of house maintenance to do, but the everyday chores. I have a child to raise, things like this. I'm not crying that YouTube isn't putting me in the algorithm. There's lots that I could fix. What about this video right here? It's pretty lazily edited, to be honest with you. I'm in for the long run, guys. I'm in for the long run, but I'm not sitting here and complaining. And look who's... She just ruined everything that I said. You just destroyed your bone. What did you do? And guys, she stared at me until I picked it up, and now she's eating everything that just came out of her bone. So, sorry about the little interruption there, but I agree with Postbox Pat on that. And I agree with Richie Tunes on this. I think this is the best 2 things that we have taken a look at today. Postbox Pat does YouTube, house development, maps all in the same day. Incredible. Swaps one of them for family if necessary. That's the way to do things. You don't have to quit completely. Do it on the side. Do it on the side. It's like me, I'm not going to just go and do YouTube full time. I'm not at that level yet. If you have one takeaway from this video, it is taking a look at these 2 posts right here. I am so glad that I bumped into these to share. I wanted to include what Clark said too, because Clark might have an upcoming stream about this, okay? I've seen a lot of people frustrated with the state of UEFN recently. It's sad to hear Kiwi step away from the space as well. I don't fully understand what's going, but it might be time to bring some people on stream and have them break it all down. I want to really understand what's going on right now. As someone who's looking to create new experiences in the space, hearing all the doom and gloom with the current algorithm, it's a bit concerning, but like I said, I need to understand it before I can make any opinions. Anyone who's open to explaining in the comment section, I'm all ears. And Clark did have some great people in the comment sections, and I don't know if Clark's going to plan a stream with anybody from UEFN over to have on a stream, but look out for that on Clark's channel. You can find it in the description down below, along with any creators we typically collab with on the channel, okay? Dylan from Sir Rifty, Genesis Studios, didn't link in the replies to me something that he did mention over in Clark's thread, so I wanted to include this as well because they're doing fantastic things over there with Sir Rifty, okay? It just feels Epic prioritizes maps that are majority low effort. There was a map that was just a blank grid with infinite items and mats which had 1k CCU. It feels like Discover doesn't have any high quality experiences anymore. All the hidden gems of Discover are truly hidden. It really kills the motivation to create better and high quality maps, especially if nobody is going to play them. A stat was released a little bit ago in which over 96% of all Fortnite maps stood at 0 players at all times. As a UEFN team, it's a huge worry of mine. If the maps aren't bringing any revenue, there's really no point to keep going. Fortunately, the events do very well for us, but what will happen if you eventually stop doing them? People will leave and stop caring. The amount of UEFN devs I've seen in my timeline the last few days who just called it quits and have scheduled interviews for non-game dev jobs is crazy. People are finding it hard to have a sustainable income for UEFN now. This ecosystem is appalling. This ecosystem, though, and again, I hope that this doesn't come off the wrong way because I agree with a ton of complaints that people have. But the problem is the ecosystem is still growing. The ecosystem is still, and was it Richie Tunes that said there are growing pains right now? Regardless, there's growing pains with it, and people don't have, I don't think it's a necessarily good idea unless, you are for sure set, and you are for sure going to have those players. I don't think it's a good idea to kind of throw everything away and just go all in to doing this full time. Do what Postbox Pat does. Do what I do with YouTube. Do it on the side until it is sustainable enough for you to transition over. That's unfortunately the state of what this is going on with UEFN right now. Mike Smith had this to say. Also, the amount of whining against YouTubers is absolutely ridiculous. It's called marketing power. It's like if you were on a phone factory with zero marketing complaining that Apple is selling like crazy. Guess what? Apple spent, I'm guessing that means billions in marketing to do so. YouTubers built a community. This is true, and I think a lot of people should not be mad at YouTubers for using their community to get plays, like we were talking about the Cyphers map a little while ago, okay? Nick A30 had this to say about the situation. As someone who tries new UEFN maps every week on stream, the maps I try and enjoy are the unique ones that I see from TikTok or here on Twitter. I don't think I've played a map that was recommended to me from Fortnite. The recommendation system in-game needs a revamp. I want to opt out of seeing specific genres, categories, and maps, but we can't, so I often overlook everything in the category like recommended tab because 99% of the maps I see are ones I wouldn't play. That's very interesting, okay? Now that I think about it too, I don't know, like there are very, very few times, unless I'm looking for a gun game map, there are very few times where I am playing maps that were recommended to me. It was from me seeing it somewhere or from word of mouth, somebody else telling me that this map was good. That's very interesting. Sorry if you can hear my notifications over there, guys. And sometimes I'll play one style of map like Meme Box PvP, and then I get recommended 5 other maps just like it, which I wouldn't play since I already experienced it. It's also very hard to tell if a map is clickbait or not. Oftentimes, the thumbnail doesn't accurately reflect what the gameplay will be. I'd be more inclined to try new maps if we could see screenshots or gameplay of the map before loading in. Not everyone adds trailers to their map, but they also take too long to load and most don't show in the gameplay right away. That's something that Epic Games could work on too, maybe making that available immediately. Trying new maps can be time consuming and needs to be streamlined, so sometimes you load into a map and it's about 5 minutes before you're actually playing. Loading, spectating, waiting. If I'm not mistaken, I've heard something from Epic Games a while ago. I could be wrong about that. I'm almost sure that's what it was. Epic Games is working on like making the time to play actually smaller, but regardless, okay? If it's a map you know is going to be good, then the wait is worth it, but oftentimes it's not, so you can go back out and try again, wasting more time. And then streaming, you can only do this so many times. Yeah, that's actually a really, really good concern that Nick830 brought up, and I think I agree with all of that. I agree with everything that Nick830 said. So out of all of the complaints so far, I think that I like to see, like, I like what Nick830 had to say about it, okay? Devin Montoya had this to say: all the experienced OG map creators have been doing this full time for 5+ years are quitting. It's sad to see everyone go, but yeah, we can't keep up with these XP maps. We are map creators, not influencers. This space is for influencers now, not us. I disagree with that. I think that like the influencers are just using their leverage that they have. Perhaps you need to build a community. Perhaps that's what's necessary. Then I guess like, I don't think that makes it a space for influencers, because how many maps have you seen succeed that have like that have no promotion whatsoever? It happens, man. It happens. And I would imagine that with time, it's going to get fixed too. As a creator who spent lots of time and love making maps, I gotta say, big, detailed maps just aren't worth it, at least in the current state of UEFN. Also, the discovery right now is a joke. As a community, we need to make things moving because it's just really frustrating. Again, another common complaint that is understandable, and it's sad when you have these big, detailed maps that don't get featured and they're not worth it, but at the end of the day, like, what can we do about it? What can we do about it? Perhaps that's something that will be more explored down the road, but right now, a lot of times it's not working, so perhaps your efforts should be focused elsewhere. Epic will probably figure out stuff like this. I actually saw Jackass's Apollo late game and Discover. That's awesome, actually. We love, guys, go support Jackass's map, by the way. Please, I will, no promises. I'll try to remember the code or something in the pinned comment description down below, but no promises on that. I'm sorry if I don't remember by the time I get to the editing, okay? Regardless, go check out Jackass. Big fan of his content, okay? In Discover, so that gives me hope that we can get more than those terrible red versus blue maps to do the same thing over and over. Those maps are less innovative than Game Freak with Pokemon. I know that it's less innovative, but the problem is, like, I know Epic Games is promoting red versus blue, and that might be their vision. But at the end of the day, those maps get plays. A lot of people want to play the PvP type thing, and it might take time to get more of a different kind of audience playing Fortnite creative. You're playing UEFN. Emmanuel had this to say: I trust Epic will eventually figure it out, but by then, how many creators will have left? Why is Epic so afraid of communicating with creators? They don't provide enough information and seem uncaring. I also trust that Epic Games will figure it out, but I do understand when it comes to Epic Games not communicating with the Fortnite community in general, but communicating with creators, I think this is something Epic Games should be a little bit more open about, especially since they're part of the reason that UEFN has succeeded so far. They're part of the reason that UEFN has gotten this far. You know, you need the developers behind UEFN, so I do believe that Epic Games should communicate with the creators more. And I'm not a creator, so perhaps there is communication behind the scenes that people aren't talking about. But if that's not taking place, and if it's not good enough, then they need to be completely transparent. Like we talked about Discovery so many times, man. They need to share what works and what kind of maps they're looking for. Dumb Blonde Gaming had this to say: hard feel this. I'm putting creative aside for honestly the first time since it launched. Going back to the real world and real work. I'll be doing this here and there, but the mental toll it has taken trying to do this the past 2 years has broken something in me. I oddly feel relieved. Hope you can find the same in whatever you do. That's really rough to hear, and you see a lot of creators end up, like, I don't know if this, I guess you can call it quitting from Dumb Blonde because she's still going to do it on the side, but perhaps this is what people need to do right now. It's sad to see, and I hope that people can still survive in the ecosystem right now, but Maybe it's just not in the state like where a lot of people can survive. Maybe you'd have to work a different job in order to sustain yourself while Discovery gets fixed. And Epic Games needs to be on the ball as soon as possible. But it's unfortunate, man, but I think it's life. But I'm glad that Don Blonde Gaming is doing good, okay? Jacko had this to say. Why quit? Learn, evolve, and get better. There are plenty of escape room maps doing well. Why isn't yours? Don't be so invested into your vision and figure out what the player base wants. A friend of mine plays Escape, took all of the time, and most are low effort, but he still likes playing them. No need to quit when you have so much more to offer. Sorry, I was trying to make this bigger. There we go. It's the insulting, make something more polished reason that gets to me. Like I haven't made something worthy of picks. It's definitely that. I refuse to become a scammer, so I won't ever succeed in Discover. So if I am meant to have a career in this space, then I need picks to be a viable option. It's no longer that clearly, so I'm left with very little choice. But this is the problem that I have with, and I don't have a problem with Kiwi. I don't know who Kiwi is. This is the problem that I have with a lot of people arguing about this. I refuse to become a scammer, so I won't ever succeed in Discover. This is a toughie because I think that's insulting to a lot of people there at the top. There are so many maps that are not scamming people and are just flat out successful. I don't think that is, I don't want to say not proper to say, but I don't think it's the right thing to say, man. I don't think it's the right way to describe this. It comes off as a little bit entitled, in my opinion. And I'm open for feedback in the comments down below about that if you disagree. That's just kind of how I take it. But a lot of people also need to take some, like, serious backlash at their maps. Maybe you do need to make something more polished. And I wish that I have played Kiwi's maps because perhaps it's the perfect map. Who knows? And perhaps it really is a Discover issue. I don't know. Epic Games needs to do a better job on that, but I'm sure that there are more things that everybody could be doing with their maps. Just reread my previous message and it reads a little blunt, which wasn't my intention. Obviously, picks is great, but it's not only the reason to determine success. Many people get rejected for picks. You don't need something super polished in escape rooms anyways. Does your map have good onboarding? What's your thumbnail look like? The thumbnail is good, I believe. The concept is unique. The only one that offers proper help to players. My decision isn't based solely on this map, though. It's based on the ecosystem as a whole currently. It's based on not being able to cater to what the audience wants anymore unless I become a scammer, which I don't want to. I agree with the ecosystem being not necessarily in shambles right now. There's a ton that we've talked about throughout this entire video that needs to be worked on. It bends me the wrong way just a little bit when we're calling the people who are successful scammers. Are there scammers at the top? Yeah. Yeah, but that undermines and insults everybody who has been working tirelessly. Teams that have been working so hard on their maps and actually did succeed. I personally don't like that. But you know what else that I would like if you guys were to watch this video, still talking about more creative UEFN drama. I would love to have you over there. Comment down below in this video too. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much for watching.